Broadcasting live from the Vegas Video Network studios, just steps from the Las Vegas Strip, it's Talktails! And now our host, she's our very own kaleidoscope of talent. What? It's Kelly Clinton!
I'm trying so hard as I'm clapping not to let my arm fat shake. Anyway, welcome to Talktails on the Vegas Video Network. I am your host, Kelly Clinton-Holmes. And I am not a Playmate. Well, actually, I could be a Playmate, but that's what I'm so excited about is we have such a great show planned for you today. I went and saw a show at the Stratosphere the other night, my husband and I spent the whole show covering his eyes because starring in the show is our guest today. She is Playmate of the Year 2011, which is, if you're into counting, only 2 years ago. This is big. Anyway, now she's starring in this great show called Pinup. Our guest today is Claire Sinclair. So exciting and intimidating and makes you so aware of how old you are. But before we meet this beautiful, young, talented lady, I want you to meet some of our family here at Talktails. First out, I'd like to, she doesn't know this, but we have an orchestra here for her, Claire. So sit back and get ready till you hear this huge sound coming from this one person. We like to call him Bow Tie Daddy. Say hello to Kenny Davidson. Yeah.
As big as I can.
Big, 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 baby. Just think about our playmates. Yes.
That's big. Yeah.
Kenny?
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very good.
Bow Tie Daddy?
Indeed.
Do you partake in the possibly buying of the magazine known as?
Absolutely.
Known as Playboy?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, he actually thought about denying it.
Yeah, why bother?
He's so excited, and I don't know if you, well, anyway, I won't get into it too much, but you're playing at the Tuscany every Friday night.
Every Friday night.
Who's your guest this Friday?
It'll be Joe D'Annunzio on the 12th. That's
Joe D'Annunzio, forget about it.
And then April 19th.
April 19th,
Who's
who
the
is
guest?
it?
The guest is Kelly
Clinton. I'm looking forward to that. We got together and we rehearsed yesterday, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
I also want to say hello to the producer, the director, the creator of the Vegas Video Network, I wish I could remember his name. Just kidding! Scott Whitney. Hi, Scott. That was a joke. Hi.
How are you, Julie?
I am so well, thank you very much. Are you... Can I ask you this? Because I know your wife is watching. Melissa is watching. Do you partake in the magazine known as...
Are you freaking high?
No, watch your language.
First of all, did you see Kenny? He's freaked out because his parents are here. And he doesn't want his parents to know that he's watching porn.
I should have known that because he's not going to answer honestly about the magazines hidden under his bed for all these years.
I look at Playboy for the articles.
Oh, I'm certain of it.
I'm a classy cat.
Well, no, but seriously, have you, Claire Sinclair is here. Playmate of the Year.
I can say this, I have seen her naked.
Well, yes, but in a tasteful, classy way.
No, completely. It was lovely.
So, I mean, this is so exciting. She's got a big show now here in Las Vegas. We saw it the other night at the Stratosphere, and she's terrific. And I'm so supportive and happy for people who are just starting out in the business. People who have their whole lives ahead of them, people who still have a dream. People who don't have stretch marks. No, I'm kidding. I'm a fan, and I totally renewed my membership to Las Vegas Athletic Club. Anyway,
it was hard to put a mic on her.
Wait a minute now. Well, that is true.
That about that.
But it's just nature, man. Nature was very good to her. I do actually still have a career, even though I'm older than she is by about, 5 or 6 years? we'll talk about that later. But I have to give you good news for me anyway, which should be good news for you if you care about me, Scott.
I do care about you, Julie.
What? It's Kelly.
Because you didn't know my name. Remember at the beginning when you opened up, you said, I can't remember his name. Come on, keep up.
Oh, so sorry.
Come on
sorry.
now.
It's my age and my memory. I'm so sorry. Listen, maybe you'll video. Maybe you'll be there at the show. But I just got a date to headline at the Suncoast on June 1st with my one-woman show. So, thank you.
No kidding.
Thank you. So, will you come this year? Because I know you were out of town last year.
Yes. Is this is it going to be an ongoing thing, or what's the deal?
Well, no, pretty much I get to be there once a year. But if I do well and, and the crowds are just pouring out of the room, I'm sure they'll say, hey, you, like Claire Sinclair, should have a big showroom show 5-6 nights a week.
Nice.
Actually, as I say that, I'm getting the fumes of my new perfume.
And what is that new perfume?
It's called Blvd.
Nice.
Blvd. I have so much to share with Claire because I want to talk.
Why do you have Blvd exactly? What's going on there? Why are you wearing
I guess
Blvd?
that makes you wonder why.
Yeah.
I just like the way it smells. No.
Me too.
No, I was like at the computer researching my guest, making sure I didn't miss anything. And when I went to get up out of the chair, suddenly I could not walk. It's like my knee just went. And so as much as I don't really like to smell like Bengay or Icy Hot or all these sexy things, I thought, I'm sitting next to a Playmate today, and I'll be darned if I'm going to be able to unfold my knee or cross my leg. But I will say this, I should do the commercial for them because it works and I feel much better.
Good.
Hello?
Hello,
Is this thing on?
No, it is on.
Anyone listening?
If you were me, how would you respond to that?
I would say, Kelly, that's fascinating.
Kelly,
this is what I have in the manual at my house for Clint to read. Kelly, that is fascinating. I hang on your every word.
Your talent is unsurpassed.
Exactly.
You're beautiful and funny.
And younger every day.
And younger every day.
No, but you know what? I do want to say this, Scott. At one point, I could have been a calendar girl as well. I could have been a Playmate.
Oh.
Yeah. In fact, I took a few shots. Can we go to that shot of me with whoa!
What the hell is that?
See, you guys can't see it.
What the hell is that?
That is a gift to my husband, Clint, a few years ago.
What are you reading?
Actually, I'm reading Sondheim.
What is that?
Claire, can you see that? Yeah, not bad. And guess what? It was 2011, the year 2011.
That was
and
2011.
I was totally like in connection, in negotiation with Hef. You know Hef?
Yeah.
And
oh, yeah.
I was totally like going to be Miss September and everything. I wrote to the family. I worked out a little more.
Yeah.
And did a photo. That's the one without my glasses. I also have a shot that I couldn't bring with just a guitar in front of me.
Oh.
If you know what I'm saying.
That would have been nice.
Well, I didn't get to get in the issue because some young whippersnapper came along named Claire. So I could have, but you know what? I still can do it because I think I could have a calendar that's like, maybe featuring. You can't featuring my boobs called "Where Are They Now?" I certainly can't be Miss Spring, but I can be Miss Fall. And show different shots of me, or like, here's some of my favorite hobbies. Is taking my arthritis medicine. Bent over a chair or something like that. Or walking slowly on the treadmill. Yes. Sobbing over what could have been and what will never be. My favorite color, Miss September, is black. And my motto is, never stand too close to a young supermodel Playmate, or you might have to kill her. Give me a little. I'm kidding, of course.
Oh,
never know how much I love you. You never know how much I care. But when you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever. When you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever! In the morning, fever all through the night. Come on, Scott. I got a whole thing ready.
Yeah,
I mean, if
go.
I could have my chance,
Yeah.
they'd know how in shape I am because I can still do this.
Oh!
We'll be right back after this on Talktails with Claire Sinclair.
3, 2, 1. Oh, I need to come up with something funny to say. 3, 2, 1. Wow. But the co-host, really, I have to say watching. Well, I'm doing.
That's how you do it. You
Really?
watch. There
Okay.
you go.
I got it.
We are the Odds Couple.
Hi, my name is Scott Pritchard.
And I am Anthony Padilla.
You're watching the Vegas Video Network.
You are.
You are, we are too.
Welcome back to Talktails. I am your host, Kelly Clinton-Holmes. I think my mom's calling because she saw that photo we just showed. I'm so excited because our guest here today, she's a very young, talented lady who has actually been Playmate of the Year for Playboy magazine. And what month was it? I can't remember.
October?
Miss October. And she's right here. She's starring in a show at the Stratosphere called Pinup. She is the star of the show. She's absolutely gorgeous. Please welcome our guest, Claire Sinclair. Look at her gorgeousness.
Look at your gorgeousness.
Thank you.
Phenomenal.
You're absolutely beautiful.
Thank
and
you.
You're starring in this show, and you are how old?
I am 21.
Can you believe it? 21 years old. That means when you posed for Playboy,
I was
were
18.
18 years old.
I just graduated from high school a month before I posed.
Okay, now
Yeah.
how does one get to be up to be a Playmate or be in the calendar for you, Hefner? How does that happen to someone who's 18 years old? Were you at the door saying, "Look at my photos"? Or
No, I was aspiring to be a pinup model forever. I had pictures of pinups all over my binder when I was in high school, and I did these really ghetto jobs with just like guys that were photographers with high-def cameras, and but the jobs that I would get booked on that would pay anything were always vintage themed. They were 1950s recreations. A weird one that was kind of like foreshadowing what was to come. When I was 16 years old, it was for a movie called Whiteout with Kate Beckinsale. They wanted a centerfold. They wanted to buy the rights for a 1950s centerfold to show in the movie, but Playboy wouldn't allow it, so they had to do a recreation. And for the recreation, at the audition, there was nothing but blonde girls. The picture was a blonde centerfold of the 1950s, and I was the only brunette there, and I was 16, and it wasn't real nudity, it was implied nudity.
Right.
And I got that job when I was 16 as the centerfold. In Whiteout, you can pause it. I'm the centerfold at 16 years old.
Amazing.
It's weird, right?
So
and then 2 years later, I'm the actual centerfold in Playboy. It was really weird. But I mean, that's the only thing that I would ever consistently book is if it was vintage themed. So I knew that was my niche. I loved it. I was so passionate about it. I'm like, I'm gonna just go full force, see if anything comes down this road of being a pinup. And I got really lucky. My dad deals in memorabilia. And he had a meeting with Olivia, who is the pinup artist for Playboy. She does one installment every month, have rights of caption.
now, when you say pinup artist, you're talking about painting.
Painting.
Not
she does
photographs.
paintings. No. She takes, her husband takes photos, and then she does a painting based off of the photo that he took. And I was, obsessed with her artwork. I loved old style pinups. And when I met her, I went to her house. I was in my prom gown, literally, and her and her husband were in their PJs, and they looked at me like I was the most ridiculous thing in the world, and they just stared at me while my dad was having a business meeting. Like, they were like, "What is she doing here?" And my dad just kind of asked her, like, at the end of the meeting, "Would you have any interest in painting my daughter?" And she's
Your
like,
dad?
My dad
Oh, my
asked.
goodness.
I know, it
Okay.
was really weird. And she looked at me, and she's like, "She looks like she's like 16." I'm like, "I'm 18." Like, I've actually been
Oh, way older than
yeah, yes, how
16.
dare you? And she's like, well, do you have any experience modeling? And I said, yeah, specifically with that genre. She's like, okay, we'll do a test shoot, but I'm not going to guarantee that I'll paint you. I just want to see how you move, and if I can get anything that I can paint, we'll see. So I test shot for her for 8 hours the very next day.
Wow.
Yeah, it was insane.
That's like a real job.
Yeah, it was crazy. And her house is like a fun house. Like, it's got like all these 1920s porn, like, you know, the Nickelodeons where you like wind it up, and she has these like Betty Page's real heels, which are insane. They're fetish shoes, so you can't even stand in them. It's like you're on point while you're walking.
And you're crazy about Betty Page.
I
too,
love
though,
her. I'm obsessed with her.
Those were her actual shoes.
Yeah, it was a museum. Olivia's house is like a museum, and she's like, it's a free-for-all. Go out there and use whatever you want for a prop and just, you know, have fun. So I was there forever, of course, and it was the longest shoot I think that they've ever had. And that night we went out to dinner, and she said, I think you know by now that I'm definitely going to paint you. We have so much material. I think I'll be painting you for the next 10 years. And then she's like, how would you like to come to the Playboy Mansion with me on Sunday? It's a movie night. Every Sunday Hef has a movie night. So I went on that Sunday after we had our shoot, and Hef came up to me after the movie, and he asked for my name and number, and I was just like, what the hell does this mean? I didn't know anything about the Playboy world, really.
And you had no aspiration
to be a Playmate. No, not necessarily. I didn't even know really what it entailed or what it was. Right. And I thought that you had to be 21 to be Playmate. And I was 18 at the time, so I thought that it was out of the question. I had no idea. It was the very next day after I gave him my name and number that I received a call from Playboy headquarters actually asking me to test shoot for Playboy. And then that next week I test shot. A week after that, I got Playmate. A week later, I moved into the Bunny House, which is located across the street from the mansion. I moved in with 8 other Playmates into the Bunny House.
Wait a minute, you're going so fast.
I'm fast.
You gotta slow down. You gotta slow down because, I mean, when you say I got in that way and then that night and then I went, it didn't go that fast, did it?
It's as fast as it feels like. It was such a whirlwind for me that I'm like, how is this even happening? It was insanity. And yeah, it literally was within a month span, my life got flipped upside down. I just got, I was just graduated high school, had no idea, like, am I going to go to college now? I'm going to take the summer off and reevaluate and see what's going to happen.
And how did your parents feel about all this, though? Because, I mean, the painting is one thing, because that's in the pinup style.
Yeah.
You're not undressed, right?
Oh, no, I was.
Oh, you were?
My first time posing nude was for Olivia.
I'm so naive. I've never looked at the magazine, ever. So all the paintings there are naked? Nude?
She draws on certain outfits, but the majority of them are nude.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
All right, so your parents. This all happens. Do you even bother to ask them what they think?
No, I was,
you just went
it's my choice. I'm 18.
Did they have a problem with it at all?
No, they were really super. I mean, my mom at first was initially kind of shocked at how everything was progressing so fast, but my dad, he was like the hugest cheerleader ever. He collects memorabilia, so along the way he's like, I have to sign this. I'm like, Dad, I was so embarrassed. He's like, when can I come to the mansion? He was so excited about it.
Isn't that funny? Most dads, you'd think, well, no daughter of mine's going to get naughty on that old man.
No. He was very like, good for you. Do what you want to do. If you're happy doing it, then I'm supporting it. And then my mom eventually was cool with it, and she was super excited.
What was she worried about?
I think she just thought that I hadn't, taken enough time to consider what it meant to become a Playmate and, what it would mean if I wanted to do something else down the road. She thought I should wait a couple years and see if I still wanted to do it instead of doing it ininitially right after.
Right, because you don't want to regret that. And that's something you can't take back, like that picture I showed. You know what I'm saying? That it's always out there. So that's the idea. You're forever revealed.
Exactly.
But at the best time in your life.
Oh, yeah. No, it captures the most beautiful artistic image of you that could ever exist, and I would never regret. I knew it back then. I'm like, there's no way I'd ever regret this. This is phenomenal. It's amazing. It's historic.
How did they treat you, though? I mean, did you ever feel like, uh-oh, maybe they have other ideas and the door closes in the mansion and it's like, bring your nakedness over here and share it with or it was just business?
It's really weird. Like, no, it actually feels like a really, family-friendly environment at the mansion for the most part. Like, it's like, Hef is like my grandpa. Like, it was never, weird. I hate to say it.
I hope he's not watching.
He's just, was so, a family member that just wanted to guide my career and kind of helped me along. But he never made me feel uncomfortable at all.
You're the age of his brides.
Well,
so I don't think he thinks grandpa. I think he thinks
that's
maybe
the vibe
she's next.
That I got. No, I didn't think that. But it was more like the vibe around there. It was very comfortable and very family-like. So it was never I never felt creeped out at all when I would walk in there. It just felt really at ease.
Okay, so back to the part where I stopped you you were moving into the Bunny Ranch? Is that what you said?
No, not the Bunny Ranch. That's a prostitution house.
Oh, that's a chicken ranch. That's not the bunny ranch. Okay, you moved into the bunny what?
The bunny house.
The bunny hop?
The bunny,
the bunny house. Okay, so this is like a dormitory for hotness.
It's a sorority kind of type thing, and you don't have to pay rent. You live there as your playmate because you have a lot of tours and stuff to do at the mansion, which is directly across the street. And your only obligation is to go to all of the events at the mansion, which is movie nights and game nights, and it's basically the same routine every single week. But you have to be there.
Do they buy your clothes? Sorry, these are things that would concern me.
Yes, it can. Yeah, I would. Wish they would. No, they don't.
They don't buy your clothes.
No.
Do they feed you?
You get to eat over
carrots?
At the mansion. Yes, you get the carrots across the street. So yes.
You eat dinner with them, or
yes, across the street at the mansion. You could order whatever you want. It's like there's a chef there, so it was a cool situation.
What do bunnies eat?
Crap.
Crap.
They eat crap.
I don't know how they do that because I always, when I see some of those shows with Holly Madison, you see them eating French fries and you think, how could they eat burgers and fries and look like that? Do you work? Is that a part of the regimen at the bunny house?
I'm a pinup. That's what I like to say to people. I'm like, I'm supposed to be thick. Don't judge me if I'm eating this. I'm like, I live off of In-N-Out and Starbucks. I'm really bad. But
did you say I'm supposed to be thick?
I'm supposed to be a little thicker.
She is so perfect. What are your measurements? Because I read this and I was blown away, and then I got very depressed.
I'm
36.
Yes, 24. I have a really tiny waist. It's my redeeming. Like no matter if I gain weight, my waist never changes. So it's like it just makes me look more like a cartoon. Like it's like thicker on the. I don't care. I like looking thicker on the bottom.
You're absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And your weight is like. We don't have to say, but it's so light compared to what I see in the morning. But anyway, so you're great.
Thank you.
You're perfect. So you're living in the bunny house, not the bunny ranch. For those of you just tuned in, and you're getting ready to be a calendar girl, or you've already done it?
No, he was initially, Hef was waiting till I turned 21 to make me a playmate. That was the original plan. But I was there and I was getting, I was getting a little antsy, like just living there, and all the girls were doing all of their obligations as playmate and traveling. I wanted to travel so bad, and I was like, damn it, I don't want to wait till I'm 21. It seemed like an eternity. I was 18. I'm like, I'm going to be here for 3 years and waiting basically until I become a playmate. So I just kind of I told them like, no, I want to do it now. Could I please just do it now? I'm like, okay.
You went to him?
I talked to his secretary who just passed recently, unfortunately. It was very close to her. Name was Mary O'Connor. And I told her, she knew my situation. I'm like, why aren't I working? I want to be out there doing playmate duties. And so, I kind of pushed to be a really young playmate. So.
And are you like one of the only a few that were that age?
I'm one of the youngest playmate of the years ever. In the 60s, it was normal to have a 19-year-old and 18-year-old. Then it stopped for a long time. You had to be. It was like, it wasn't a rule, but it was mostly they wanted the girls to be 21 so they could do club promotions and promote on a grander scale. So I was the youngest of the past, couple decades.
Okay, so now I have to go back before that happened. Now you were doing some jobs, like some acting jobs, right? There was something I read about Beauty and the Beast, Belle.
Yeah,
right?
no, I wasn't an acting job at all. It was more like being a legitimate bum. I was seriously a bum.
You made your own costume and went out there?
Me and my sister. My sister was Cinderella. I was Belle. And on Hollywood Boulevard, a bunch of characters, people dress up as characters. They're actually homeless people for the most part. Oh. They dress up as characters and they pose for tips on Hollywood Boulevard. So I was 17 years old, right before I turned 18 and all of this happened. And that summer, I worked on Hollywood Boulevard as Belle from Beauty and the Beast. And I had to fight. There was like a crackhead Belle, and she was there, for years. I had to fight for my position as Belle. I'm like, I'm here now. And like, she would come and like mad dog me. She's like, that's my spot. Like, she would literally, and there was another Elmo.
Did she have teeth?
She wasn't a very. I hate to talk. If she's still there, I hate to talk.
She's not watching, I'm sure.
About I don't think she is, but about my fellow coworker. But she wasn't the most attractive Belle. I was a ghetto Belle too, though. I mean, I had like flip flops, and it was just a mess. But and my
ghetto Belle. I love it. I love it.
My sister was Cinderella. She dated Elmo. I dated Napoleon Dynamite, the characters on Hollywood Boulevard. The whole society kind of like becomes like they all hook up and they all kind of like roll together. It's like little cliques. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
Did you say she dated Elmo?
She dated Elmo.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And I think of him as a non-sexual being. You know what I'm saying? I just can't.
Yeah, he's kind of.
And you were with Napoleon.
I was in the Hollywood Boulevard version of Napoleon Dynamite, yeah. He looked just like him, though, if you ever
I
seen...
saw a picture in the show because they showed that part of your
Yes.
life. But I assumed that you were Belle because you were hired from an acting agency or something.
No.
I didn't know you could just go out there. There's no, this is boring, why am I asking you this? Licensing or anything? It's just free for all? Elmo and Belle?
Okay, this is what actually happened is someone came in, I don't know, so Mr. Head Honcho came in and said, this can't happen anymore, and everyone migrated over to Vegas. For a short time in 2010, 2011, everyone was on Vegas Boulevard doing what they did on, all my friends were here. Like, I came here randomly for some Playmate job, and I saw all of my old homies out on the boulevard. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? So, it's amazing. Yeah, it's random, but there is definitely not a license.
Okay, so boy, your life completely changed.
Yes.
From the ghetto Belle
Yeah.
to the Playmate of the Year.
Yeah, it's kind of a trip.
That's pretty darn amazing.
I know.
So let's fast forward now so we can really promote this show. Your Playmate of the Year, how did you end up starring in a show in Las Vegas? Because are you a singer or a dancer? Did you aspire to be an actress, singer, dancer?
You know what? I never have danced or I've never sang. I'm not a singer. I guest starred in Crazy Horse Paris at MGM briefly for 2 weeks. And that was my first experience being up on stage, but I got addicted. I had so much fun, like every night going up there and being in front of a crowd and getting that adrenaline rush. I guess it feels like you're just, you just jumped off a building, like that strong adrenaline rush. And then it's just, it was amazing. I just was sobbing when my stint with them was done, and I wanted to do it again immediately. And they made it happen again for me, which I was truly thankful for. Now Crazy Horse Paris is out of business. They left there, and this kind of happened really. It was a weird kind of being at the right place at the right time type of
kind of like
situation.
The Playmate
exactly
of
like
the
that.
Year situation.
Exactly.
So we have an online chat question. God, I'm like hanging on her every word. Okay, so I have to share her with you. Who's on the line, Scott?
Trisha wants to know, how does somebody go from Playmate to Playmate of the Year?
Ah, that's a great question.
How does someone go from Playmate to Playmate of the Year? Well, basically, there is an online poll, and you could also mail in your poll at the end of the year, all the 12 candidates. There's one Playmate for each month. And Hef also has a very heavy word in who becomes Playmate of the Year. So you vote, and then Hef has the final say. He takes those into consideration, but he looks at it, and I think it's mostly who's out there promoting the brand and getting out there and getting Playboy's name out there. I was, at that time, I was fortunate enough to be on Holly's World, which was a reality show on the E! Network, and I was a spokesmodel for the Betty Page store. So I was doing a lot of things outside of Playboy and just kind of branching out. But yeah, I mean, I think it's different every year. There's a lot of factors that go into it. I think it's a political too. Whoever was Playmate of the Year last year, if there was a brunette one year, I think that the next year it's kind of, highly likely that a blonde will be Playmate of the Year. But there's a lot of things that go into it.
Is there a lot of, between the different Playmates or calendar girls, is there a jealousy? Is there a little cutthroat?
Oh, definitely around the time when deciding comes up, it gets a little, you want to get the hell out of town.
People are like putting
there's
Visine in your coffee and stuff, right?
Yeah, seriously, people are like ploying. It gets, they're like, oh crap, I need to get out of the line of fire and just be away from this. And if it's meant to be, I'm going to be Playmate of the Year. If it's not, then whatever. So I just left a couple months before. I didn't want to be in the vicinity. I stayed at my parents' house. I was working the events, but I didn't want to. Those girls are catty as hell.
She's very smart. You've done so much in such a short amount of time. You have a lifetime of stories. So let's go back to circumstance. You meet some people, some folks, and somehow the show starts to, the idea of this show starts to develop.
Yes, it's actually the most random thing in the world. I wanted to do a club promotion for my birthday because Playmates kind of go and host, basically just kind of, go up, hey everyone, thanks for coming out. They host clubs. And so I reached out to my PR person at Crazy Horse Paris. Her name's Jen Bradley, and
we love Jen.
We all love Jen. But I sent her an email. I'm like, Jen, let's do something for my birthday. Let's see if we can get a club appearance or something. And she gets me a club appearance at a strip club.
Oh, wow, Jen!
And it was fun. I got to bring all my friends. But that night of my club appearance, it was actually my real 21st birthday, May 25th. last year, she was going to see Frankie Marino at the Stratosphere, who she would, see his show frequently because she's was dating John Katz, who's a local reporter in town. And John Katz helped Frankie get that show, so she would go. They would all go, every week, I believe, to go and see the show. She's like, we go was it Thursday or Friday to go and see the show? I'm like, yeah, I'll come. So I went with my sister and my friend.
Terrific.
He's terrific. He was phenomenal. Yeah. He was the most talented, guy I've ever seen do a one-man show ever in life. I was, super excited that she invited me to go and see it, and I had my event afterwards. But right after the show, he has like a meet and greet outside. Yes. And like during the show, he pulled me up on stage because he heard I was going to be there. He's like, oh, we have a special guest, Playmate of the Year is here, and he brought me up on stage. And then afterwards, he's like, the Stratosphere asked me to produce a new show because Bite, which was the burlesque show that was there prior to Pinup, was, it was just announced that it was going to be done, that it was going to be closed off and going to a different location. So Stratosphere wanted to put something in its place, and they gave Frankie the option to musically come up with some numbers for a new burlesque show, and they wanted it to be vintage themed and kind of pinup themed.
Which is you.
Exactly, and he knew that like I had done the Betty Page spokesmodel thing, and I think one of the other creatives at the Stratosphere, Drew DeConstanza, actually suggested me, and it was just by fluke that I happened to be there. It was the most random thing. They were in the midst of talking about this new show, and he's like, I think your name came up actually when we were in creative meetings, and they want to get this moving. They want it to happen, in the next 6 months. Would you be down? And I just met him, and I'm like, what is this guy talking about? Is this for real? Like, he's asking me to headline a show. Like, what my qualifications? I'm a Playmate, and I've done this once before briefly for a week, but did
that scare you at all? Did you think, I'll just say yes now and I'll figure it all out later? Or did you say, I know this is going to be fine and I'll go for it? It's meant to be.
Honestly speaking, I didn't think much of it at all. I thought, okay, talk to Jen. I guess I gave him the go-ahead to talk to Jen about it because I didn't believe.
And you get approached all the time about doing different
stuff, and you just never know what's real.
Some of them happen, right.
Yeah, and you never know if it's just talk.
Right.
And I didn't know Frankie. I thought he was phenomenal, but I didn't know what was happening here. So he actually did. He was really persistent, and he went to Jen the next week and drafted up a contract. He's like, we should have her out here. She's perfect for this part. She needs to come out and see if she would be down to live out here and do a show here. So Jen and him and everyone at the Stratosphere kind of collaborated and came up with the logistics of it. And then I moved out a month later, and it was just really fast. And then here I am in Vegas. I'm doing a show. It's just really.
This is amazing. Can we get a round of applause for Showbiz Stories Come True? Seriously, because people talk a lot and things, most of the time they don't happen.
It's true.
And this happened fast.
It did.
So you're working with some really fabulous entertainers. Mm-hmm. So you've got the Dave Perico band, right?
David Perico, who is amazing. I think we have the best band, hands down, of every band in Vegas. We have a phenomenal. They're so good.
You got 3 horns up there. You got drums, bass, guitar, and keys, right?
Yes, and an amazing singer, Autumn Blvd.
Say her name again for me.
Autumn Blvd.
She's also very young and beautiful, gorgeous. Yes. And the dancers are amazing.
They're insane. I really haven't seen dancers like them.
4 or 5. I know there's 5, but one is a guy. There's one guy.
Ryan Kelsey is our male dancer. We have Sarah Short, who choreographed the majority of the dances. Also along Lacey Schwimmer, who's from Dancing with the Stars. She did a good majority of the choreography for the show. But we have just top-notch dancers, which is, it was insane to I'm like, oh my God, I have the top talent in the show. The show is so good. I'm so blessed to be a part of it.
Seriously, we were really impressed with this. And for you to be the age that you are, which is seriously very young. The older I get, the younger you get. Or that number. Anyway, you do all these beautiful numbers. You do, there's a picture up right now that's a sexy number. It's kind of like a calendar is what's happening. The theme of the show, right?
I look like I'm itching my crotch in that.
No. But that was a Witch's Brew, and you create, and the beautiful dancer comes out. There's Ryan. And what's that number right there?
That is Candyman.
What month is that?
That is July.
That's July. Of course it is,
yes.
Kelly. And this
is a random hosting number. I think it's the first time I come out and address and talk to the audience.
And that's what I was so impressed with, because I know what it's like to just talk and not have music and not be, you're just out there naked, so to speak, but not naked. and just, I mean, handling the composure and just, it's so professional of you to be able to handle this at this age.
Thank you.
I mean, I could see myself at 21 going, hi, I'm out here alone, and there's 200 million people out there.
Oh my God. That's how it is, though. No, I'm just secret. The first week was just like that, and it showed. I had the first 2 days, I had my script out on stage because I just got it. Yes, and I was so mad at the director because I'm like, why are you putting me out here with 2 days? He's like, we have to do this. We got to get it out here. We had a deadline to go out there, and now it just feels like it feels like we've been doing it for almost a year, and it's only been 1 month, but the comfort level has just gone so much. It's been such a pleasant surprise to see how fast that I've gotten kind of comfortable with doing it. I know there's so much more room.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah, thank you.
The show is at what time?
10:30 every night.
10:30 every night at the Stratosphere, and you're on how many nights? I don't know which nights you're dark.
I'm dark on Tuesday and Wednesdays.
And if you haven't seen the show, I mean, it's a brand new show. You got to catch it. Some of the greatest musicians, dancers, singers, and this beautiful Playmate of the Year, Claire Sinclair, Pinup, absolutely gorgeous and sweet. Thank you for being our guest.
Thank you so much for having me.
I wish you all the luck in the world, and I really am your big fan.
Yay, thank you.
I really am. Kenny, can you play us out a little bit? Talktails with a Playmate. That's super happy music. So we'll be back next week, and Claire and I are gonna go eat some French fries.
Yes.
And then we're gonna go work out. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.